So what we have in front of us now is probably the one lesson you're most interested in, and that's how I merge two images, one with the shadow detail, you can see down here in the foreground, and one with all the highlight detail, you can see up here in the clouds. Now there's a number of ways of assembling these. This is the way I prefer because it gives me one, technical control over the photograph, and more importantly, aesthetical control. Now the first thing I want you to notice is the clouds up here. Look at how far they travel just between the exposures. It was windy as heck out there. Okay, that really determines how I'm going to assemble these. Because normally I go over to File, Scripts, and down to Load Files into Stack, and let it load the two images into one file and align them for me. But the problem is, Photoshop is not going to be able to deal with the fact that these clouds have moved so much, it will throw it off, especially because they're highlight areas. It's going to grab onto that. So we have to go to the old-fashioned way of doing it. So I'm going to get out of full screen mode, go back to have the two images, go hold down the Shift F. So if you're using a Mac, that's Shift F. Take my two images, and all I'm going to do is simply get my highlight image, grab the Move tool by tapping the V key, hold down the Shift key, drag it over. You can see instantly the two images are right now already over here into a single document. I'm just going to close this original one, tap the F key twice, and here we go. We have our two images loaded on top of each other. Okay, there we go. Now I need to meld these two together. Real simple. I'm going to hold down the Alt or Option key, click my layer mask. Now I'm going to take my brush. I'm going to make it larger. I'm going to start off with 50% opacity. Now this is just the way I prefer to do it. Everybody can do it differently. And I'm going to sit here and paint in the darkness from my highlight image. Now I'm going to do it in such a way that also it's going to add in some of the drama that I saw out there. Okay, I want to see a little bit of that drama brought in the photograph. You can see the clouds moving around. As we bring it up to basically 100% opacity, I'm doing it in different stripes because I don't want to leave any real heavy kind of footprints. You're probably saying, well, gee, look at that one cloud. It looks kind of goofed up there. Well, let me show you what I'm going to do there. Because I have it figured out, even had it figured out when I depressed the shutter release. Now I'm going to change the opacity of my brush down to 20%. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to work this drama in here. And I'm going to do it slowly. I'm going to bring it in. Because clouds are not linear, so you see the cursor is not moving in a linear fashion. It is moving in a circular fashion because I'm going to sit there and emphasize the drama and, more importantly, the ominousness of this cloud. Ominousness. Is that even a word? You get my meaning, right? Yeah, I'm making up on the fly as I go. But I'm going to sit here and bring up that darkness, the power it's in there. You can hear the mouse clicking. I'm adding a little bit to it as I go. Now I'm going to bring it down to 10% opacity. I'll come here and just work this little area right here. Just giving it little kisses here and there. Now, you can see down here I got a little carried away. Not a problem. X. I'm going to flop my colors around. Go back to 20%. Get a little bit of that. I'm going to leave that right there. But I think that's a little bit too bright. So I'm going to actually, again, just simply bring in some of the darkness from the other image and just kind of kiss that back there. Let it bring it in. And that's it. That's how quickly I'm going to do it. I'll probably sit here and fine tune it. I'll keep clicking at 10% opacity, little places in the clouds that I maybe want to make more ominous, more dramatic. You know, it's a matter of taste. Clouds are so plastic in their appearance. You can sit there and work them any way you want and just kind of fine tune them. I mean, maybe this area up here, maybe I don't want it quite so dark. Maybe I could make that just a little bit brighter right up there. Just clean it up a little bit, play with it. But just like that, I've merged the two photographs. Just boggles my mind to see how much those clouds have moved between exposures. Come down here, I think, maybe, and bring this a little bit darker right down there. And then, you know what? Let's sit here and go down here and clean this up a little bit. Let's see if we can bring a little bit of darkness into this foreground, a little contour into it. Just like that, I'm just going to sit there and give that a little more life to the foreground. And basically that's it. The two images are merged, it's done. Now, why do we have to do all this? Keep in mind, we had a scene that was beyond single capture. It was more than 5 stops of light. You can see, when I turn this off, you can see how all this information up here is blown out. So we took the second photograph, which we took in camera using blinkies, dialing a minus exposure compensation, and then we simply brought them into Photoshop and we've merged them to, in one image, show you what we had to capture with two. Simple technique to just bring back what our mind can see to the camera and to the computer and to the print so everybody else can see the incredibleness of that storm.